Morning. Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500, and welcome back to Project Maisie. Today we are going to hopefully be the last day that the inside of this car stinks to high heaven. Going to get the seats out, give them a good clean, give them some G101, and then go over them with the carshing machine, and hopefully get them nice and clean and smelling fresh. And because we're taking the seats out, we can also give the carpet a bit of a shampoo where it needs it as well, or the entire thing, whatever. But hopefully that smell will be a thing of the past by the end of the day. And I will also use the old smoke machine on it as well inside once they've all dried and got back in. So hopefully they can dry off on the same day and we can get them back in again and it'll be nice and sweet smelling. At the moment the weather's pretty rank. Again, you know, it's the middle of August and what a washout this summer's been. But it's only about, well, they say it's going to be about 20 degrees today, but there might be the odd shower. So I need to get these done quickly, get them out in the garden and give them a chance to dry. So let's get on with it right now. So before we do get on with this, guys, I just wanted to say I've just had a look at the analytics. As you know, I was hoping to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. As I say, it's now mid-August. I've just had a look at the analytics, and 52.7% of viewers of the channel are not subscribers. 52.7%. So if all those people subscribed, I would easily be up to the 5,000 tomorrow. So guys, please, if you're not a subscriber, hit that button that will appear in the middle of your screen now. Subscribe to the channel, like some of the videos you watch. That really helps with the channel and helps it get out there to other people who will then hopefully subscribe. So yeah, 50, what did I just say, 52.7 was it? Yeah, 52.7% of viewers of the channel are not subscribers. So please guys, hit that subscribe button. Let's try and push those numbers up. Anyway, let's get on with these seats. Gonna get them out, get them clean. So you just see me clean the seats on the front seats and the base of the back seat. I'm actually going to leave those in. I'm not going to bother taking those out because apart from the fact that they're not going to dry as quick in the car, which doesn't really matter because no one's sitting in the back, they can just, window could be left slightly open and they can just get on with their selves drying. It doesn't really, there's no need for me to take them out really. Obviously the carpet I can get to. I mean, look at the state of this carpet. I don't know what that is over there, all that brown stain. I dread to think. But funnily enough, now those seats have come out, that smell has gone. But I'm still going to shampoo this carpet, I think. Certainly in places. There's a load of nuts over there. Someone's just dropped macadamia nuts or something that's just been left lying there. Oh God, how do people treat cars like this? If this was a company car, I guess they didn't give a monkeys as it wasn't theirs. But yeah, it's awful, absolutely awful. This is the worst interior I've come across, I think. So I've got the mats out. The front, the driver's mat is fit for the bin. Look at this. What on earth is that? Is it chocolate? Is it mud? Is it the unthinkable? I don't know. I really don't know. But I mean, look at all these nuts and raisins as well. Maybe chocolate, nuts and raisins. Aha, there's a clue. Cadbury's nuts and raisins. Who knows? Who knows? Absolute mess. And all the door cards I've got to do as well. I don't bother taking the door cards off. So I've done the seats. Let me show you. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen me post a picture of the state of the water. But the seats have been out here for about 20 minutes or so drying now, so yeah, they look, although they're still wet of course, they're just starting to dry. There you can see they're just starting to dry, but they look pretty clean. They've come up really well. I used G101 on them, gave a good squirt with G101, and then also going over them with a brush, which you would have seen on time lapse, with a brush on the end of the drill. That really did help actually. I've never actually done that before. I've seen other people do it, so I thought I'd give it a go. I've never used G101 before. I've got it. Where is it? Yeah, I bought a small bottle of it, and I googled it, and I've used this. Not this. No, I didn't. I used the bottle. One of the reasons you pay more for these Auto Smart bottles. Can't remember how much they were now, but I bought 3. But they're quite expensive. But because you've got the proper measuring thing on there, and you've got the dilution measure as well. So what I've done it just below 10 to 1. 10 parts 101 to 90 parts water. So yeah, 10% G101, 90% water. It probably could have done with being a little bit weaker than that, but the mark there is exactly to 100%. I did it up to about there, and it was just slightly below the line on the 10%, so it's a bit weaker than 10%, so it's probably somewhere around the 12 to 15%. But as I say, I've never used it before. It seems to have worked. Obviously I won't know for sure till they dry, but I did notice that the stains were coming out before I even got the Karcher machine on it, and I've really soaked it with the Karcher machine. I've taken longer going over this than I ever have done before. So while they're drying, I'm going to hoover this out first. Actually, I might do the door cards first with the wet machine. Actually, I might as well just do the interior, and then we'll come back and we'll hoover it all inside, and then we can do the floor, because otherwise I'm going to get in on the floor, which obviously I don't want to do. I think the time at the moment is 11:45, and there is a car on Copart today. There were 2 actually, but one of them, there were 2, but one of them was it's a Sport. It doesn't run and drive. I think it runs, but it's got a little bit going on with the wheel. It's a 14 plate 1.2 Sport in grey, metallic grey I think. And it's 1,750 last time I looked, so if it runs and drives I might have had a go, but it needs a front bumper and it needs a wing at the very least, and it looks like there's something going on with the bonnet alignment as well, and you know how I hate bonnet alignment. But it was a 1,750 at 9 o'clock this morning. It's at Sandy. I don't think it's worth, but it's probably going to go far too much anyway. But there's another one on there which is a Pop. It looks like a lounge because it's got lounge wheels on it. What colour is it? I think that's the same colour. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Do you know what? I lose track of all these cars. But it's a grey one, and the damage is almost exactly the same as the last grey one. It needs a wing and a small repair to the bumper. It was at 1,150 this morning. So again, it's probably going to go for too much, but it would be a really quick turnaround again. Sell it for the same price, well, maybe slightly less. So it's less mileage, it's 40 something miles, whereas the other one was 60,000. So I could probably sell it for the same price, 2,727. Put it up to 2,850, get 2,700 for it again. like I did on the last one. So again, it might be worth paying a little bit more for it if I can get it. It's only at Sandy, so it's not going to cost me £250 like the last one did to get transported, probably nearer 130. The new driver, Mustafa, I don't think he's brought one from Sandy for me, or has he? I can't remember where he first did it, but he was very, very slightly cheaper than Gallin. So I reckon somewhere between 130 and 150, I guess, to deliver it, because it's quite a long way, Sandy. But we'll see if we get it anyway. But yeah, we're going to go back, or we're going to clean the door cards. I'm not going to bother filming that. I've done the other stuff on time lapse, but I'm just going to clean these door cards, clean these rear seats, and then we'll just leave them lying around, and then we can get on and hoover the inside and try and get that nice and clean. But as I say, the smell seems to have gone, which is good. Anyway, let's get on with it. So that side's still to do. Hoovered 101 with a brush, and then the Karcher. And this is the side I've done. Sparkling. It's better, isn't it? I just wanted to remind you that before I've done any of this today with these seats, I disconnected the battery. Obviously I've got to get the boot open to put the rear headrests back in, so I've reconnected the battery, and I've had to shut the doors so I can lock the doors, unlock the doors and unlock the boot. So obviously, just a reminder again, I will put a bit of text at the beginning of the video. Actually, I want to give those a wipe over at the back as well. So yeah, whenever you're doing anything with it, obviously we weren't doing the airbags themselves, but when you're taking seats out, you've got to disconnect all the plugs. So you must disconnect the battery, the earth terminal of the battery. So these are all nice and clean now. Literally cleaned everything in the interior of this car now. So it all should be nice and sparkly. There's a bit on there that won't come off. I don't know what that is. We'll try some G101 on that, see if that does any better than elbow grease. Actually, there's a little brown mark on it. I don't know what it is. I think something's been lent up against it or something. Right, let's put the headrests in. One headrest, two headrests. That's it. That's a bit dirty. I should have actually, it's just a bit stuck on it, so I won't worry about that at the moment. So let me show you. So they still are a little bit damp. So yeah, they still look a bit patchy, but I think that's where they're wet. The darker bit there is where they're wet. So I thought that was more stains, but I'm not sure whether that's come out completely. I might have to go over that again with some G101 and the drill. It is wet around the other places, so it's, I think, and it also looks worse through the camera than it really is. But because they are still a bit on the damp side, they look worse. But I mean, look how sparkling the carpets have come up, and the mat, and I did the pedals and everything. I've given it a really good going over in here. I've still got to put the thing back in the back. Your eyes don't deceive you. I sold a rear headrest today, and I cleaned the ones that were in the garage, and I forgot that there was one in the boot, so that one can go back in the garage. Something else, yeah, so this one's nice and clean. Carpet again is spotless down there. Rear seat's nice and clean. See that brown mark up there? Don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there. Don't know what that is, but that wouldn't come off. But we'll have another go at getting that off at a later date. So yeah, these are nice and clean. One thing I forgot, which I didn't realise until I was cleaning the underneath tray, if you remember, from the walk around, that there was all crusty with mould and God knows what it was. So I used the G101 on that and then some elbow grease and it's all gone. But because of that, that's wet. So I'm going to leave that up. Sun's just come back out. So I'm going to leave the doors open and let it air out. And that should finish drying it. I'm probably going to move it in a minute because I think my neighbour will be home soon. So I'll put the Puma out on the road out there. We're doing another video on the Puma soon. There's news on that. Not particularly good news either. But yeah, we'll do another video on that. So that's not bad. It's a not a full day's work cleaning it, but it's been a bit of a long job. Obviously, there's the outside of the car is going to be majorly cleaned. I did do these seals because they were absolutely rotten. I was sitting on them when I was doing the door card, and I've got a dirty backside, so I thought I'd give them a clean. But yeah, I mean, all this glue's got to come off at some point. I think the car will probably get a cut and polish. The entire car will get a cut and polish when it's all finished. And I'll use some fallout on it as well, because the white cars tend to suffer more from the old iron filings and other colours. Actually, when I moved it down the drive, it came up saying check back brake light. So there's obviously a back brake light out. So I'm going to grab my piece of wood, shove it on the brake pedal, and see which brake light's out. So I know you can buy a device to hook the brake pedal down, but I use a bit of wood and a cloth. The cloth goes on the nice clean seat, and the brake pedal, the other end goes on the brake pedal. Wedge it in with the front seat, and that obviously pushes, or need to turn the ignition on first, pushes the brake down. Let's see which one's out. Oh, wipers are coming on now. Right, that should be on. Oh yeah, so it is. We do have a brake light this side out. So when you think the amount of times I've had these lights out the last few days. Actually, let's put the lights on. I wonder if I didn't plug that one in. If I put the lights on. No, light comes on. And then the indicator works. Oh, that's not the indicator, that's the wipers. Blimey, you think I've been driving these cars long enough? Yeah, no, obviously it's the brake lights out then. Take it this one's okay. Got one bulb out on that, so I will change that. Can you see that? No, you can't. Oh, I've shut it and it's cut. You know what? They are dodgy connections, those bulbs, because I've just shut that boot down and that light, all of the lights have come on. But when it was open, one of them was out. You remember I tested a load of them recently when I changed the hatch on here. Actually, I tested a load of them. And I had them from various cars and I had little bits of tape stuck on them to show which bulb didn't work. And when I tested them all, they all worked. That was really weird. That was really weird. And that's just done the same. Right, let's change this bulb then. I'm sure I've got some. You don't want to watch me change a bulb, do you? Nah, of course you don't. Anyway, I'll get that. I'll do that and I'll be back. That's better. So yeah, the bulb was a little bit on the brown side. Doesn't actually look blown, but it clearly is. Right, what else are we going to do today? I think that's about it really. I think we'll, oh, it's just starting to rain again. So, steering wheel, that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to get that oh yeah, no, different car. I've been doing two different cars today, so I'll get confused. Oh dear. So you've got, we've got to put the back boot carpet back in. I'm going to change that steering wheel as well, because I've got the new steering wheel and so I might as well put it in. So I'm not even going to bother showing you that, because I've shown you it so many times recently on this car and on whatever other cars it was. Loopy Harold's had about 15 different steering wheels, including the one that's on this. I've got to get a new light. I showed you this light the other day, didn't I? I've got to get a new light on this side, on the passenger side. It's really ropey. Don't know why. It's like it's all scratched, but it's like it's on the inside. It's bizarre. So I will have to get a new one. Probably won't fail the MOT, but it just looks awful, and it's got condensation in it as well. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for the time being. We'll be back when we got something else to show you, I guess. So the Amazon delivery has just come. Cheap and cheerful. Roll some files. So I got that to try and fire some holes in the front panel there to get the to move that up, to move the catch up, not the hatch, the catch. I've got a thing about hatches. To move the hatch up, so I'm gonna give that a try now actually. So I'm not actually sure whether this is going to make a lot of difference or not, but I suppose I'll just take the bumper off to make it easier. Yeah, let's take that off. It's not held on by anything, it's just pushed into the wing. Oh, blimey. Pretty tight on that wing. I'm not sure what's going on with that wing. Considering this wasn't a damaged one, it does seem, the end of that does seem to sort of bend over a little bit, so I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, that's another bridge for another day. I'm going to take this out, and then I'm going to get a file in the hole and try and make the holes bigger. So this has been done before, but I've done it with a drill before, which is a bit of a logical scarper way of doing it. And the body shop have done the same thing as well, which has aided them in making a bonnet fit. I don't know if it's something to do with it not being high enough, I don't know, I really don't know. It's these bonnets, I hate doing these bonnets. It's often the way, if you take the front panel off and put a new front panel on, sometimes they just fall into place. You do find if you're putting a new bonnet on, yeah, I guess it's just getting it in the right position, isn't it? And you can't really go by you can't really go by where the old hinges were if it's a new bonnet, because obviously it's off of a different car. When I say new, right, so I want a square one, because they're square holes, funnily enough. So I want a square file. That's going to be too big, so we've got this little cubey sort of affair. So I'm going to use this, see what it does. It's only quite thin, this, so I'm hoping. Let's move you. Oops, I'll move you around there. Zoom you in. See how it goes. That was quite easy. And my wife just sent me a WhatsApp message saying shush. She's working upstairs in the little bedroom upstairs. So she knew it was me making all the noise. Right, I'll try not to make any more noise. So that makes it come up quite a bit higher now. Or able to come up quite a bit higher. Doesn't mean to say it has to come up. So it does allow for quite a lot of adjustment, these. Let's get the drill and do them up with that, be quicker. And always tighten them up with a spanner afterwards. Alright, let's just do those up. Right. So that's quite a bit higher. Difficult to gauge how much higher it is, but it is higher, quite a bit higher. And it may actually make not a blind bit of difference. Or it may be a combination of this and something else. But it's got to be tried. It's got to be tried. I'm dying to get this bonnet closed. Ow, 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 ow. So I've got it over to the left. Get these out of the way. Let's see if it shuts. I don't know that much hope, to be honest. Even if it don't fit, even if it just shut but didn't fit, I'd be happy about that. But let's try. I know it's not going to work. I thought it had then. Yeah, see, it's still not. This is still flummoxing me, you know. Let me take this back a little bit. Camera, I mean. Excuse the camera work. Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. I don't know. I just cannot fathom this out. It's just this massive gap this side. I think it's something to do with a hinge. But this, as I keep saying, I do apologise for keep repeating myself, but this driver's side was the undamaged side. That was the damaged side. That's what makes no bleeding sense about it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I'm going to keep persevering. It may come to it where I do actually adjust the hinge in the end and take the scuttle panel off again. Because the wiper motor gets in the way, you need to take the scuttle panel off really, but if you need to take it off, you need to take it off. But yeah, I can't think of any other way around it. It just makes no sense. Let's have a look at the lineup of the actual, because you can feel that it's going, where's my torch? You can feel that it's going into the right place, but it ain't going down far enough. But it's right in the middle. Yeah, it's right in the middle. But I don't know, maybe it's too high. I don't know. I really don't know. I just cannot fathom it out. But this side is okay. Well, not okay, but this side is almost okay. Don't know. I really don't. It's completely got me, this. It always does. I can never really fathom it out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, and when it don't, I just cannot seem to do it. It's very frustrating. But this is the oddest one I've had. Normally it don't fit both sides, but not fit one side and then it's absolutely miles out the other side, miles out. I'm going to try lowering. I know I've just been through that and high it, but it's all I can do to get the thing out. I don't know if it's too far over or something, I don't know. I'm going to try lowering it and putting it. I'm going to put it down as far as it goes. I'm sure I've done this already actually, but I'm going to move it over and move it right down as far as it'll go. Now, I know I've put a different catch on, but the previous catch was the same. So I changed the catch, hoping that it might be the catch, but silly me. No, maybe it's. I don't know. I might try getting it back because sometimes these things get bent as well. It's some of them I've had the actual thing bent right forward where they've been too far back. So I might try that as well. It doesn't matter if I bend it because I've got other stuff to put on. No, it's better. It's closer actually. It is actually closer, but it does actually look high here. So it does feel as if it needs to go down further. But then, of course, this side, it won't go down any further because it fits. So does that mean that is wrong? Does that mean that is too high, that side? But why would it be too high? The wing's in the right position. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that out again, and then I'm going to file it lower so I can move it down and see what that does. I just want to get the damn thing to close. I worry about lining it up afterwards. I just want it to be able to close. Right, I'm going to put you on. I'm going to pause it while I do that because you've just seen me file it. So I'm going to try and file it again, but lower, and see what happens. And this makes a horrible noise as well. So I'll do that, and then we'll be back. Right. put it back on again. I've done that. So before I do that, it's a little bit out of shape that for some reason. Not sure this was the best front panel I've ever bought, to be honest. Okay, let's try it. And so it did, when I lowered it, it did seem closer. Surprising how far over it needs to go. I'm going to put it in the middle, I think, or middle-ish. If this does happen to work, I'm going to have to put some bigger washers in because I made the holes longer. The washers don't. The built-in washers on the. Are they built-in washers? Yeah. On the bolts. A bit only on one side, sort of thing. I made the hole longer. I don't think this is going to work, but it's an experiment and it's worth a try. I just find it so frustrating. This happens so many times. I hate having to take it to a body shop just for them to do this, because invariably they keep it for ages. You know, they don't charge me much, as I've said before, but it just keeps me waiting. In a way, I'd rather pay more. And I suppose I'd rather go somewhere else, but let's try it anyway. Don't worry about that when the time comes. Here we go. Oh, I really thought that was in then. It feels like it's in, doesn't it? It does feel like it's in. It's a lot closer, actually. It's not as far away. And that does still feel, with that light, the way that light is there, it does still feel, but that's got more travels. But there's not this side. There's something going on this side, you know. There is something going on this side. Let me show you. Let me take it off of here. I've got this plugged in charging at the moment, so I can't take you too far. But if you can see here, there's quite a gap here. If we go the other side, I'm going to have to unplug the charger, hang on. If we go this side, that's banging on there, and it's probably banging on here. It is banging on there. So it is this side that's wrong, isn't it? That's what's doing it. So it's me thinking it was this side, but it's that side that's too high, too low. So, interesting. I know what to do now. I'm going to have to. I think, as someone suggested on the last video, that sometimes with these bonnets and that you have to sometimes just go away and come back to it another day, which is what I've done today. And I sort of think I'm getting somewhere, although it still don't shut. It's now pointing. Maybe it is this side. So I think what I need to do to start with is take that headlight out. Why would the wing be too high though? I don't see as it could be too high. I mean, the wing sort of just falls in the right place, doesn't it? It lines up with everything else. So why would it be too high? Because when you look at it like that, it looks alright, doesn't it? But it's definitely quite. Maybe it's the front panel, the top of that front panel. Let's try. I'm going to take the headlight out and give it another go. Just take the headlight out and try shutting it, and then we might be able to see in up here and see if it's what it's hitting, if anything. So it might be hitting the that part of the front panel, the bit that comes up that the headlight connects to. So let's do that. I do feel like we're getting there. This bit, I mean. Is it too high on that? I don't know. So let's take the light off. Oh yeah, it's only a temporary light. It's got a broken tab. Well, it could be, I suppose, because although that the tip of that inner wing wasn't bent, there's always a possibility, of course, it was pushed up, which then when you put the wing on will make the tip of the wing too high. But then the bumper fits that size. That's what's the bizarre bit. So I sort of feel like, I mean, that doesn't look too high or too low. It looks exactly the same as the outside, I think. But let's try it. I've taken the pads out of the bonnet because I thought it was that. Let's try closing it now. See if that makes any difference. Let's give it a nice wide shot. I don't think it's going to make quite a bit of difference, but at some point I might go Eureka. Right, let's get the torch. It's getting closer, you know, it is getting closer. So if that sort of just clipped in, that would pretty much be in the right place this side. This is a bit too far over, but I think it's fouling. I've got my glasses that go dark on, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm going to have to go and find my other glasses and put them on because I can't see for looking here. Right. I think this torch needs charging up. Yeah, now see that is hitting the corner of that wing is hitting, sorry, the corner of the bonnet is hitting the corner of the wing. So that sort of makes me think that it is too low. It's not hitting the front panel. So it's like the whole thing's got a twist. Twisting the night away. That's more like what's got that, but it's got a twist. So that end goes lower and that end goes higher. So that's the sort of thing I said to you the other day, that don't look if you take your car to a body shop for them to do, because they do all sorts of things. So I think that's maybe what's needed. So I'm going to leave that headlight out for the time being. Although of course you can see that it's worked because of the gap when the headlight's in. And I'm going to leave it out, although I don't want the rain to get to it, so I probably will put it back in for the time being, even if I just put one bolt in it just to keep the rain off. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it now, and I'm going to come back to it another day. That'll be my next job. So I sort of feel like maybe I'm getting somewhere with it. Now, within the last sort of few minutes, the realisation is that that side of the bonnet is too low and that side of the bonnet is too high. So if you grip hold of it and twist it, sorry to do that with the camera, twist it, pushing that side down and bringing that side up, that'll probably work. Still might need a bit of manipulation around, but I think that'll work. So in theory that should be quite easy. So it sort of tells me that maybe it is that hinge. There is something wrong with that hinge, which of course would make sense because that's the side that the damage was on. Interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to come back to it another day and we'll attack it on the next video. So I'm gonna make this a video in its entirety. I'm not sure whether there'll be enough content in this particular video to make an entire video, but it may be a short one. I don't know, because I've got quite a lot of time lapse in this. So that's it for this one. So we'll be back hopefully on the next one. We can get it shut once and for all. Fingers crossed. But until then, thanks for watching. Don't forget, subscribe, what was it, 52.7 people watching the channel are not subscribers. So please hit that button, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you on this car, not sure when, next week sometime probably. So take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.